Alright, it's already Friday today. Trading will soon be done. It's my time, 10:18 in the morning. Around 2 o'clock, we're calling it quits. So, as promised, here is my dynamic trading EA expert advisor. Yours absolutely free. And I'm going to go through all the menu settings, what they mean. I'm going to rush through this because it's quite extensive, and you can always replay the video. Plus, I have a PDF file that you can download that explains everything in detail, so you're not going to miss anything. All right, let's just jump straight into this. So this is the EA loaded on my chart, and as I explained already yesterday, it takes every symbol that you have in the market watch and it analyzes all of them one by one at the same time. So you don't have to go and individually check each currency pair to see what the market is doing. Of course you can do that. Simply drag over and there you go, and you can check what's happening, but you don't need to do that. The EA is doing all this for you. I already explained what all these terms here mean, and so I'm not going to go further into this. Yesterday we also saw I explained to you as well what the button meant, and that it auto disappears, and also that it will automatically calculate lot sizes based on A, market conditions, and B, currency pair you trade, C, whatever risk management you have in place. All right, last but not least, I went over the support and resistance, which is also dynamic. And now let's dive right into the menu. So I click my little smiley face here. Let's see if I can enlarge this a little bit. I doubt it. Yeah, no, the font stays the same. Okay, we'll just go through this one by one. And like I said, I'll try to, I'm just gonna go a little rush through it, but it's okay. You can rewind the video, rewatch it. Two, you can also download the PDF and read everything in there. So let's start from the top. Maximum slippage history. All that means is how many deviations are you willing to take in points for your order to be accepted, or your closing order to be accepted. What that means in a nutshell is if you, for example, enter, and I'm just going to use even numbers here to make it very simple. So this is not actual prices, just even numbers. You place your order at 100. You're willing to go to 103 for the order to be accepted. Same with closing. You close the order at 200. You're willing to go to 203 for the order to be closed. That's all that means. Of course, the higher the slippage value you put, the more points you'll be playing with, and the greater the likelihood you will not get close to the price that you're asking for. Keep that in mind. So 3 is usually a good number. Anything less may cause you to not get accepted when you place an order or close an order, but 3 to 5 is usually a good number. Okay, set stop loss. What level do you want to have stop loss set? I have it at 50. By the way, all the configurations in this menu are pre-configured for optimum performance. In the booklet that accompanies this, you can read what happens if you change any of them. But to change, very simple, double click, it opens up a window, type in what you want, and you're done. Don't forget to click OK at the end when you make changes. Now, what I highly recommend before you make any changes is that you save this default configuration. And you do this by go save, and then you type in whatever you want to call this. Let's call it dynamic. There you go, press enter, and this is now saved. So if you were to screw this up and you don't know, you can't remember for the life of you what the heck this was set to, then afterwards you simply go to load, and you click on dynamic, and it restores everything to its default setting. So before you make any changes, I highly recommend you do that first. Moving right along, this is very simple explanatory what level you want to set your stop loss at. Take profit, same concept. What level you want to set your take profit at. I usually go for a ratio 2-to-1, but the choice is yours. The moving average is by default an EMA. You can't change it, but you can change the period of the moving average. You want to have the 50, 100, a 200, a 20. Just double click, change, you're done. Look back period for momentum calculation. This is set to 5 bars. What that means is the last 5 bars, how was the market reacting? Was there good volatility going or not? So it is used to determine whether the market is transitioning from active to quieting down back to active. Z-score. Z-score, whatever the number is here, is the deviation that you want price to be from the EMA and, to signal an entry. Deviation simply means how far away from the EMA do you want price to be down for a sell position to trigger a signal, or up for a buy position. That's all that means. It's an analytical term, but now you also learn something different a little bit. Okay, getting back to where we were. The minimum ATR or average true range, also used to not only signal. This one is probably, of all the inputs you have here, the most critical, the most crucial. Unless you can obviously play with this, but unless you're absolutely certain, I would not change this, not ever. The 0.005 is a standard accepted parameter by professional traders, because the ATR, average true range factor, is used to calculate just about everything in dynamic trading. It's used to calculate the lot size, it's used to calculate stop loss and take profit, it's used to calculate support and resistance level, it's used to calculate entry signals and close signals. So there's a lot depending on just this one particular factor. So again, don't change it, play with it, but make sure you're in a demo account when you do. Okay, momentum threshold is simply set at what level do we incorporate this for price movement. And bigger this number, the bigger of a price move there has to be in order to signal a sell or buy opportunity. 1.5 again is the standard. Again, read the booklet and you can play with this. Just make sure you're in a practice account. And I'll repeat, because it's that crucial, first make sure you save all this information before you change anything. Right along, OBV, or on balance volume, calculates whether the buyers or the sellers are really pushing the market right now. If you deactivate that, it will not take that filter in consideration, and it will not, basically it's the market sentiment, and it will ignore that. However, if you do use that, it will then automatically consider the percentage of confirmation that you have to have at the very minimum in order to comply with market sentiment, being at sellers or being at buyers. Risk percentage. This is where the thread meets the road, so to speak. This is your entire risk management position right here. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but here's the nutshell of it. Risk percentage when confidence is high. This is what the formula of the dynamic EA will incorporate when markets are going strong, so you have a much higher lot size. This is when confidence is moderate. This is when confidence is low. You can change these numbers. If you feel like, well, when the market is very strong and things are really good, I'm not happy with a 1.5% risk. I like to have 3%, 4%, 5%, whatever. Just be aware that this immediately affects the number of lots and your money in the bank. Okay, so maximum lot size allowed, 10 is the maximum you can trade at any given trade. If the calculation based on your risk management exceeds 10, it will automatically default back to 10. Take partial profit. This will give you the opportunity that during the course of an actual active order, if you reach 50%, that's what this one means right here, 50% of the current take profit position, this will automatically close that partial profit, and at that point moves the stop loss to at the very least break even position. So from then on you won't have any more losing position happening. Not only that, once it activates the break even part, you then will automatically trigger also the trailing stop. So that is also very important to know. The trailing stop is only activated when the break even has been readjusted. Now, you set the ratio that you want to have for your partial close. I usually take a 1-to-1 ratio. What that simply means is if I have, and again, round numbers, I enter on level 0, my take profit is set at 100. Since I'm having my percentage of the original lot set to 50 or 50%, meaning half, that with a 1-to-1 ratio, that means at $50 the system will automatically draw an orange line, that's the color I chose, and it will automatically put the price, which would be $50, and when that level gets triggered, the $50 is taken, put in your account, the stop loss is moved to break even, and the trailing stop is activated. So, and that's what this part means right here. Use, I don't know why I keep going. Use trailing stop after partial close. If you set this to no, to false, then obviously the trailing stop will not be activated, and you will have a fixed stop loss that stays where it at. The same with move to break even after partial close. If you set this to false, the break even feature will not be activated, and even if you have partial close active, and when partial close is met, the stop loss will stay where it's at. So this is crucial, and I recommend that you do not ever change this. This is your entire risk management, starting from risk percentage, what confidence is high, all the way down to stop loss in pips. Stop loss in pips means when you have trailing stop active, every 20 pips it will move, the trailing stop will move in the direction of your trade to minimize further losses. Okay, so very crucial, very important. It's what either will make or break your bank. So back to where we are. Limit trading to market watch symbols only. That's what this window is right here. If I set this to true, which I have, then it will only take the pairs that I have listed in the market watch, a maximum of 7. If I set this to no, then it will take the pairs that I typed in here. Now, just so that I'm clear, the market watch symbols and the symbols or pairs that you type here can be different. So, for example, just as for argument's sake, I have my market watch symbols here, but I don't want to trade these right now. I want to actually trade, just say something dumb, Japanese Australian dollar. I want to trade the Hong Kong dollar with the Canadian dollar, I want to trade the euro with the Swiss dollar. I can enter these currency pairs here, also up to 7. Set this then to false, and now you will get a whole new list here that is tracking the 7 or up to 7 currency pairs that you have listed here. Again, I reiterate, these do not need to be the same as these ones here. I just put them there the same, but they don't have to be. Okay, enable auto trading. This is automatically set to false, and I highly suggest you leave it there. Auto trading means that this EA will entirely run on autopilot. That means you will not get this button here. As soon as it finds this, it will automatically enter a trade. It will automatically close a trade when it determines it's time to close. And you basically have at that point zero user input, zero control. The EA runs entirely like a robot. This is very important that you know this, because sometimes, remember, this is still trading. It still has risks. Just because you have a dynamic EA does not mean you're going to have every trade a winning trade. Doesn't exist. You're going to have losing trades. And when you automate the trade, that you let this run completely unattended by itself, yeah, chances are even greater that you may have more losing trades, because this is now robot driven. So that's why, by the way, maximum open positions allowed are 3. You can change this to whatever level you want. I have it defaulted to 3 so that you can never have more than 3 open orders at any specific time. Now you set this to 5, you set this to 10, you set this to 20. You're asking for trouble, in my humble opinion, but that's your decision to make. I have it set to 3, meaning that if I were to auto trade and let this EA run entirely by itself, then I will at least know maximum open orders I can have at any given time is 3. Personally, I never turn this feature on, and I always only enter 1 trade at a time. I learned that the hard way many years ago. A lot of traders think that they have to have multiple open orders in order to make money. I am here to tell you that that is absolutely not the case, just the reverse. By having more open trades simultaneously, you have more management to do, you have more to analyze, you have more things to keep an eye on, and if you accidentally forget or overlook what may turn out to be a winning trade can end up being a losing trade, then there is FIFO to concern yourself with. First in, first out, which means that if you have a profitable trade out of the 3, 4, 5, 10 that you choose to open up, and you want to close that, but it wasn't the first one in, you won't be able to close it. So on top of it, you have to obey with that rule. First in, first out. That simply means the first trade you opened up is the first one you have to close. So again, do yourself a favor. Don't be macho. Don't think you are the it. Be humble. Stay humble. And leave this to false. And leave this to a bare minimum. And in fact, I even say go as far as what I do. Have 1 open trade at a time. There are plenty of trading opportunities to be had, and there is plenty of money to be made. Just take it easy. Take it slow. All right. Anyway, that's enough about that. Look back bars is what's being used for the support and resistance levels. 50 means that we're going back 50 bars, which again is a standard. This is simply the line and the thickness of the support and resistance lines. You set that any way you like, including the colors. You set those any way you like. And that is it. That is the entire explanation of the menu. Again, I know I ran through it quickly, but you can always rewatch the video, and you can most definitely download the PDF file that comes with this so that you have a very clear explanation, a legend of what everything means right by your side as you're trading and as you get familiar to this. So this is really it. Again, because it's Friday, I usually do my administrative work. I don't trade on Fridays only because I don't want to get caught in a trade that I cannot exit because the markets now are closed, and who knows what will happen over the weekend. And come Monday, I may be in a total mayhem of a trade somewhere. So on Fridays, I do my administrative work, and that's what I'm going to do after I end this video. The download link for this dynamic EA is below, as is the download link for the PDF. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope this little mini course in dynamic trading really opened up your eyes of how you should inspire to trade or aspire to trade, because fixed trading doesn't work. It has been proven time and again, yet that's how most retail traders trade. It's also one of the main reasons why most retail traders lose money, because they're getting either stumped out too soon, their stop loss is fixed too close to entry point, too far away to entry point, losing too much money, so forth and so on. Anyhow, this is it. Load with Black Bear Dog Trading signing out. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe. And as always, God bless.